Yes, your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. Today, crypto news. We're looking at Bitcoin's hash power being at 65% concentrated in China. This is something I talked about over the weekend, I think about 2 weeks ago, one of my live off the chain sessions. Is this something we should be concerned about? I don't know. We'll have to discuss that in the comments below. Also, hackers try and take 400K worth of Bitcoin or extort that out of an Amazon Ring owner. This is crazy. And also, third article out of Hard Fork, crypto entrepreneur illegally raises 42 million spent funds on dating and rent. Wow. I actually remember this shopping ICO. He actually had a presentation out there at the International Miami Bitcoin Conference a couple of years ago, I think in 2017. So it's just crazy seeing this, man. I mean, you know, people say that the SEC picks on only certain companies and so on and so forth. That's not true at all. They're going after a whole bunch of these guys. I just reported on one the other day. So yeah, we'll take a look at this as well. But first, got to give a shout out to my man Tech Geek out there on YouTube for the song requests. We've got Killer Mike, Crypto Night featuring Big Boy. This is a good one, man. This takes me back. So shout out to you for that song request today. And today's video is brought to you by Prime XBT, another strong competitor to BitMEX. There are a whole bunch out there, but this one is a good one because not only are you able to trade crypto, but you're also able to trade 30 other asset classes. We're talking about gold, silver, S&P 500, even a whole bunch of the FX pairs. So check them out. I got a link in the description below. You'll get a nice rebate if you use the link in the description. And you can leverage up to 100x. And one great stat about Prime XBT is the fact that 67% of their traders are profitable. So jump over to Prime XBT today and sign up for an account. Let's take a look at the heat map for today. Bitcoin is up slightly, 0.69% to $7,256. Its dominance is still sitting around 66%. ETH is down just slightly, almost unch at $145.49. We've got EOS up slightly, 1.23% to $2.61. Also, Litecoin up 1.5% to $44.36. Binance token is up 0.4% to $14.97. And XRP up 0.78% to 22 cents. And as far as the technicals go, we can do something like this. And you'll get a kind of a picture of where we are right now. We saw a double, looks like a double bottom. I told you guys if we broke this area, it should be an area of concern, but we didn't so far. It looks like we kept it. So building some support there. Hopefully we take a bite at this trend line here. And if we can punch through that, then we're going to, I think, quickly move up past 7,400 again. So at this point, because we kind of saw a double top here and here, and I mean, you can group this in there as well, but this area of 7,600 is a prime location for us to take out on the bulls side. So we'll just have to watch that area and see what happens. First article out of thenextweb.com. This blew my mind, guys. Amazon Ring owners foil a $400,000 Bitcoin extortion plot by removing batteries. It says the hackers will do anything to get their hands on Bitcoin. Evidently, in Texas, extortionists managed to breach home security cameras to demand cryptocurrencies from an unsuspected couple. It says the couple who lives in Grand Prairie, just outside of Dallas, gave a video to local news which reportedly showed that their Ring security system had been hacked by cryptocurrency hungry scammers who demanded 50 Bitcoin, which is around $400,000. The victim said, "I was asleep and our Ring alarm was going off like an intruder had entered our home. Then we heard a voice come through the camera. The voice reportedly said, 'Ring support. We would like to notify you that your account has been terminated by a hacker.' The unscrupulous scammer then demanded 50 Bitcoin payment and threatened Amador by saying that she would be terminated herself if she doesn't oblige. Pay this 50 Bitcoin ransom or you will be terminated yourself, the hacker said. If this wasn't scary enough, the hackers also managed to gain control of her Ring doorbell to make it appear that someone was outside of her door. Amador and her boyfriend didn't know what was happening at the time, so just took the batteries out of the hijacked cameras. This is crazy. So it looks like this was all part of a data breach that happened with a third party that Ring uses, and account details are actually exposed with that breach. This was not a result of Ring's security being breached or compromised itself. So it says, in any case, the more internet connected devices you have in your home, the more likely you are to be hacked. I actually saw somewhere else as well that a Ring was hacked in a person's daughter's room. They had a young daughter and their Ring was hacked in there and scared the kid and stuff. So it's just crazy, man. You start adding, and I think this is where blockchain could really benefit, or I should say the companies could benefit from blockchain if they integrated their systems with a blockchain where it will be darn near impossible to hack a blockchain to jump onto one of these devices that way. So it's coming. When? I don't know. And it doesn't mean, and I have to point this out, it doesn't mean that the blockchain will be some public blockchain that we can benefit from a company adopting. It probably will be a private blockchain, but to say the least, I think it's technology that these companies need to begin leveraging. Also, out of the next web hard fork, SEC says a crypto entrepreneur illegally raised $42 million, spent funds on dating and rent. Wow, that's a hell of a lot of rent to spend $42 million on. It says crypto entrepreneurs beware. U.S. regulators haven't forgotten about your dodgy initial coin offerings. The SEC has just charged the head of a crypto startup for allegedly cheating investors out of millions of dollars by lying about non-existing partnerships. The SEC's complaint claims that between August 2017 and April 2018, United Data founder fraudulently sold unregistered securities via an ICO for shopping tokens. Capital raised by selling shopping tokens was supposed to be used to create shopper profiles that track purchase histories across online retailers, which were purportedly to be maintained by a blockchain. According to the SEC, though, Shopping never created a functional platform despite raising $42 million. Authorities allege that both EO and Shopping repeatedly misrepresented partnerships with well-known retailers, as well as supposed involvement of a prominent figure in the digital asset industry. So it goes on to say also the SEC claimed that the founder misappropriated investors' funds for his own needs, including at least $500,000 that he allegedly used for rent, entertainment, shopping, and even a dating service. So the SEC seeks to hold EO and Shopping responsible for scamming innocent investors with false claims about relationships and contracts they had secured in support of a blockchain-based universal shopper profile. They added that the retail investors considering an investment in a digital asset that meets the definition of a security must be afforded the same truthful disclosures as in any other traditional securities offering. The SEC has charged EO and Shopping with violating anti-fraud and registration provisions of the U.S. federal securities law. If successful in the suit, an officer and director bar would be placed on EO, and he would also be restricted from participating in any future offerings of digital asset securities. This is kind of what happened to Reggie Middleton, a permanent bar from participating in any digital asset securities in the future. So this is serious stuff here. Though I'm hearing that Reggie is still looking to do something with this very asset. No real details have been put out, but I suspect it has nothing to do with a token named Veritasium. So I think people are still going to be out of luck with that, unfortunately. So SEC is coming after these companies, these ICOs from back in 2017, which I don't blame them, and I think that they should be. A lot of these companies raised so much money, guys, that, you know, it was detrimental to the actual project. You know, if you know anything about investing, angel investing, or looking to raise money for a project, one thing you know is that these investors don't want to give you too much. They give you just enough, 18 months actually, just enough to keep you kind of on the edge. And if you make progress with the funds you get, then possibly they'll extend your runway with another round, of course taking more equity from you as well. So it's a dirty game, but you never give them too much money. Last article, this is the major one here, man. I've been really stressing this for over a year and a half. The site that I used to use to track this and give you guys an update on the centralization of hash power, all of these top cryptocurrencies, with the exception of coins that are using DPoS, in my opinion, which is the best consensus algorithm that we have right now, with the exception of DPoS and maybe pure proof of stake, which is what Algorand uses. But DPoS is great for smart contracts. Tezos uses it. Tron, EOS, of course. Dan Lemmer was a creator of DPoS, delegated proof of stake, which he implemented first in BitShares, then in Steam, and now a very enhanced and modified version for EOS.io. But yeah, these coins are centralized, people. You call it whatever you want, but here's a new report that backs this up even more. Even though we don't have that website any longer, this new report shows that still the case, and actually has increased. It says for all of Bitcoin's promises of being the world's first decentralized peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, 65% of the total hash power resides in China. That's the highest in at least 2 years, according to a recent report by CoinShares Research. Skeptics like economist Nuro Rubini often claim there is a massive centralization of power among miners, and the blockchain is not even close to decentralization and democracy. That the majority of Bitcoin hash rate is being supplied by China adds weight to their charges. This is very true. The hash rate refers to the computing power dedicated to mining blocks and securing the network. At press time, Bitcoin's hash rate stands at 91.34 exahashes. It is likely the world's second largest economy has the biggest influence on the top cryptocurrency. If a couple of big Chinese miners were to switch off, the hash rate will likely drop sharply, making the network less secure. The majority of Bitcoin's mining power resides in China, mainly due to natural factors. A mining market analyst at Bitcoin asset manager and trading platform RR Mine, who asked not to be named, told CoinDesk this: China is a large country and there are many poor developed areas with low price, abundant electricity. As we all know, electricity costs and mining machines are two important factors for mining costs. So mining companies and individual miners prefer setting up mines in China. Half of the global mining power is located in Sichuan, which has an ample supply of cheap hydroelectricity. Further major improvements have been made in the mining hardware over the years, and most of that has been predominantly installed in China, according to CoinShares' Chris Brinskin. So, of course, we already know that all the hardware circuits and stuff are made over there anyway. So this is a known fact that I know. Even when I used to mine back in the day, they would, like, when ASICs really hit the market for script algorithms, that's like Dogecoin, Litecoin, whole list of others. I was purchasing many of these mining rigs, these ASICs at that point. But what they were doing was delaying you a month or two, or by the time I was purchasing them, it was maybe about 2 to 3 week delay. And that was simply because, and this is if I was ordering from China, they would pre-mine. They would pre-mine the machines for a month or two before you even get it. And by the time you get it, the difficulty rate on the network has gone up significantly. And that pushes out your profitability or break-even point with your investment. So I ordered a few from China, but I also used to order some in the United States, which at that point it was already kind of baked in. They would just ship them out. You know, they wouldn't hold on to them. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you people, but we do have a problem on our hands, and we can't run from these facts. You know, do not run from these facts. Does this mean that we're doomed? No, it doesn't at all. But I think we need to start consciously looking to invest hash power or rigs in other locations around the world instead of focusing on trying to set up in China. It's a somewhat free market, so you're going to have collusion. You're going to have these types of things happen. But, you know, if we want to keep this network secure, we have to make sure that we decentralize the hash power, because that's essentially what it's all about. We can't say that the coin is decentralized as far as supply, because that's not the case either. Most of I think it's like the top 1% of Bitcoin wallets own over 50-60%. I don't know the exact number. Don't quote me on that, but it's a crazy concentration in coins as well. So we're not decentralized as much as maybe people want to lead on. So we got some room to improve on our decentralization. But the beautiful thing is, we can decentralize more. Unlike fiat currencies, they're all issued by the federal government. So there's no chance for a decentralization of that type of system. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than what we have currently. I would probably want to consider comparing Bitcoin to gold. Gold doesn't have the opportunity to be more decentralized. Okay, just the way it's all set up. That goes for any pretty much precious metal. So I think there's still something you can glean from this technology called Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You guys let me know. Do you think this is a problem? And do you think Bitcoin is not as decentralized as you initially thought? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's my 2 Satoshis for today. Shout out to my man Tech Geek out there on YouTube for the song request. Killer Mike, Kryptonite featuring Big Boy. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here, people. Have a good weekend. Holla!